quarter. They were leading by 33 points. WA ran over the top of them. They need to win today to keep their championship hopes alive. As we get underway, South Australia getting the first clearance of the game through their captain, Cody Edwards, who kicks up towards half forward. Tackle applied there by Walker, who is back into the side for Vic Country, but it was an illegal tackle. And McNichol, who's been in excellent form for the Crow Eaters this championship, sends them inside 50. Patterson the target, he crumbs, but he was brought to ground in a well-placed tackle. Then Long picks it up and has a crack at the goals and is off to the left. So first behind of the game. South Australia looking to cap off their 2026 championships with a win. Also, Coach Tony Bamford's last game as coach today, almost South Australia coach for 10 years, so they'll look to send him out on a winning note. Brent?
Yeah, end of an era for the Crow Eaters. This is Noah Williams with the kick-in duty, short to Tanner Armstrong in the back pocket. As Ben mentioned, Cody Walker back into the team today, recovering from the shoulder problem. They've turned it over at half forward here. Long just kicked that behind, and he's having a flying shot on the run from 45 metres out, just misses to the right-hand side. South Australia captain Cody Edwards did win the toss and sent SA to the right of screen. Of course, there's no real wind to tell you about here this morning in Ballarat. And don't be fooled by the sunshine. It is very cold.
It is. So the Scouts have rugged up, no doubt, for today. Big one-on-one here. Herbert takes the mark. Genuine first-round prospect, Ethan Herbert, for the Crow Eaters. Another inside 50 for South Australia. Kennedy with a decisive fist. Comes to ground level. Taken there by Florence, who's back into the game, but Kennedy wins it back, and Walker gets the clearing kick, but not a good one at all. Garris trying to slip the tackle, and he couldn't slip it successfully. Well played there by Harrington, who wins it back at half-back. Big Country looking for a little bit of forward territory here because it has lived inside the South Australian forward half at the start of this game. Serson working it along the outer side, taken there by Snell. And now some run coming through Sousa, who drills it inside 50. It's a good-looking kick, but it was just had a bit too much juice on it. Big decisive fist away there from Harris. Crumbed there by the Vic Country player in Elliott. Umpire had a good look and will toss it up, but at least the Vic Country side now have the ball inside forward 50.
For the first time in the match, going to the, call that the Creswick Road end of the ground to the left of your screen. Ivans and Tassone working with one another from the stoppage out towards the wing, where the mark couldn't be taken there by Garrett, and he's tangling with Harrington, who wins the footy. Did really well, Harrington, and wobbles the kick inside 50. It was well placed. Good spoil came from the back there. Matthews Hampton for SA. Wobbly kick down towards the goal square. Mitch Harris makes the spoil, and I don't think Croker's going to be able to get there to keep it alive as it wobbles out of bounds. So SA lost to WA by 12 points in game one, then had a big win over the Allies, who we'll see today. They beat the Allies by 66 points in game two, and then on Friday under the roof at Marvel lost to Vic Metro by 46 points. And as we mentioned, this is their final game of the under-18 champs this season. Throw in deep in attack for Metro. Herbert too strong for his direct opponent there. Handball was a little bit wobbly though. He's Cody Walker with his head over the football and hunting it voraciously. Took it all the way back to the top of the goal square. Archer Elliott wrapped up in a tackle, and we'll have it tossed up at the top of the square with the Vic Country knocking on the door.
There's a couple of Archie Elliott from the GWV Rebels playing on his home city today as the kick comes out from Ivans, but it was a hurried kick. Bounce eluded O'Brien. The Country of the numbers, Harrington with another inside 50. And trying to take it with one hand there was Templeton, who had a good start to the Country's game against WA last week, their first two goals of the game. Patterson up high, Armstrong down low for Vic Country. Wins it back. Another touch for Harrington. Floats it to Armstrong, the definition of a hospital handball, that one. And Patterson sees it over the line. He'll be wanting a big game today, Gabe Patterson, the number 12 for South Australia. For some, he's right in the first round mix. Some would say top 10. Very, very talented player who has 4 goals from 3 games so far. It's a boundary throw in. Ethan Herbert doing the number 1 ruck role today. Job Janeway not playing for South Australia, so Scouts get a good look at Ethan Herbert as the prime ruck. There's one-on-one there with O'Brien. Then it followed up at ground level with the tackle. Hand pass came out. Cody Edwards involved in that chain. Good pressure though from Thompson, who was a late inclusion. Forced the Garrett kick out of bounds in the full. So too late inclusions. Neocleus not playing again due to a back spasm, and Ned Badrock is sick, and in come Max Thompson and also Oscar Henwood. So a couple of bottom ages coming into Vic Country today.
Henwood, who I thought was outstanding on Friday. That's a really poor kick off the boot there of Noah Williams. Concedes possession and poorly. Right down below us here, that was Bradford. Puts South Australia up to half forward. Handball from Kai Edwards. Concedes possession. Pressure on the wing. Here is Henwood laying a tackle. Handball come out. This is Van Dyke. And then the kick going astray there once again from Charlie Bradford, out of bounds on the full. So a few changes from the SA team that played at Marvel last week. Kai Edwards, Van Dyke and Garrett coming in, Janeway, Bell and Adriani going out. But as far as we're aware, no late changes for SA as Kennedy sends it upfield. This is Ladbrook and a handball away to the running Souza, who drives up towards half forward. That's a good spread there from Jackson O'Brien, the ruckman for the Vic Country team. GWV Rebels and Blazy's footy not far away from here. Lake Wendouree, high kick inside 50. Templeton got there late, couldn't mark it. Macumba snowed in underneath. And another forward 50 stoppage here for the Country boys. SA have the first two scores of the morning, 2 behinds. Country still looking for their first score.
The other one to note, if you're following the team changes closely, is that Cohen Dent, the number 38, not playing. It's number 35, Jet Alec, out there, who has been, who's played the first 3 games, first 2 games rather, for Vic Country. So he's out there today for his side, the Geelong Falcons product. Now here's a look at goals coming up for a free kick from Cody Templeton, who had an explosive start to the game against WA last Friday. He kicked the first 2 goals of the game for Vic Country. He missed the first game of the championships against the Allies due to a foot injury, but he kicked 3 goals, 1 from 12 touches against WA on Friday, and he has a chance for Vic Country's first goal from this set shot. It looks straight, and it's there. First score for Country is a goal off the boot of Cody Templeton, who now has 4 goals in his championships campaign from 1 and a bit quarters. So great start for him, the Gippsland Power product. Great character and has great attack on the ball. And Vic Country hold that 4-point early advantage. So good start for them after South Australia, Brent, had a lot of early forward territory dominance. Yes,
they did. I did see Templeton for the first time in the flesh about a month ago playing for the Gippsland Power. He's a live wire. Yeah. And if we were using basketball vernacular, we would say that he's a walking bucket. He just hits the scoreboard. Yes. He's kicked 19 goals in 10 games for the Gippsland Power. And he set Country on their way. Oh, Walker through the stoppage. Oh, he did really well until he ran into a roadblock. Not sure how he got rid of it. Scooped up by Lees, and then McNichol got a touch in there as well. That kick didn't go 15. And that was Gordon who was tackled quickly. Ball up on the edge of the square. Umpire asking for the share, and he's going to toss it up again. Alec. So 3 late-ins.
Yep.
In fact, for Country, as Tassone is disposed of. The umpire said he was held. And so the boy from North Adelaide and Irimple gets his kick at half-back. It's just going to drop a little short of the intended target. McNichol, he did really well actually to get it to McNichol. Kicked out towards the wings. Spoil made there by Clay Nichols. The Country back in control. Walker's handball. Not effective. Goes and wins it again. The second one was mightily effective across half-back to Williams, who gets his way in and out of traffic, and then handball to Drever, the Ballarat boy, who goes blazing through the middle, looking to hit up a target. He's just overcooked Templeton. Spoil, rather than marking there, was Chapman. Then it's scooped up in the back pocket by Jack Lees.
Richmond father-son prospect Jack Lees hits Herbert at half-back, looks inboard, and he had a couple of options. One of them, McNichol, who's averaging the 21 disposals across his 3 games for South Australia so far. 8 score involvements for the Crow Eaters on Friday. That was a drop mark there from Matthews Hampton, and he's gone. Great alertness there from Elliott to apply the tackle. Plays on quickly. Handball to Phillips, hoping for a player inside 50. That is a superb kick from Phillips. And the mark has been taken inside 50 here by a player who's come in outside the initial Vic Country squad. Toby Hellesy, a bottom age player, just turned 17 years of age. He's in familiar territory. He's another GWV Rebels player, and he can have a look at the goals. Plenty of changes for Vic Country in the lead up to today's game, and Hellesy coming from outside the initial squad. His set shot is off to the right, and he can't convert. So it is a 1-1-7 Vic Country, South Australia at 2 behinds, but Country have just been able to get momentum of the game in the past few minutes.
Yes, Hellesy, 17-year-old, turned 17 this year. He is playing senior footy already out at Warrnambool.
Yes.
As Imey with the kicking duties for SA. That is a terrific mark. Taken out on the wing by Lees. Dad Brian, 110 games for the Tigers, Benny.
Yep.
In the dark ages, or late 80s and early 90s.
Yes.
Phillips, Scragg, handball near the boundary. Oh, no, not a handball. Hogging the balls, did the umpire. So here is Long with the middle distance kick inside 50, presenting and marking very well was Charlie Bradford, who will go back and this will, it's Jack Slattery, correction. He'll have SA's first real look of the morning, and he's been kicking goals for fun.
He's the informed goal kicker in the championships so far, Brent. He's kicked 12 goals, 1 from his 3 games so far. He's been a dead eye.
Kicked 5 goals, 1 on Friday, and that lost to Vic Metro. So this one, he'll kick from just on the paint or just inside, 45-degree angle. Slattery lets fly. It's going to go right to the line. Did it find the angle?
It's a mark.
Well, the umpire has paid the mark right underneath the goalpost, and this is Charlie Bradford. I've just come back from the future there, Benny.
Saw it coming.
He's going to step out, Charlie, wrap it round. Oh, didn't wrap it around at all, really. He's kicked it across the face and into the construction site. Yeah. And still SA wait for their first goal.
Yeah, I reckon the excavators might be picking up a few sharons throughout the day. It's a working day here at Mars Stadium. The ground is coming together very nicely on the redevelopment, and the surface looks pristine. So bringing it away here is Nichols for Vic Country to a big pack and up high. No mark taken on that occasion by Kai Edwards, who's one of the inclusions for SA today. Also back is Taj Garrett, the bottom age player, and Kane Florence, one of 3 vice captains out there for South Australia. Kai Edwards doing the ruck work again. Drever, nice handball out. Now an opportunity to explode for Hanegraaff. Find some space. Towards half back. Now the South Australian player in Harris came out, left his man, and it was a good move. Was able to intercept and handball to Gordon. Now South Australia move it towards the wing. Taken cleanly here by Bradford. Kick was well off target though, and intercepted. And Clancy Snell is one of the top key defensive prospects in the draft marks.
Gippsland Power and Murbu product. Kick into the middle was actually well gathered down low by Ladbrook, and now Henwood. That lovely left foot kick out near half forward and not able to keep the ball alive down there for Vic Country right near the boundaries. Amon Austin is another one that's come in and playing his first game of the carnival.
You're right about Henwood and that left foot kick. Watched him live at Marvel on Friday, Brent, and was blown away by some of his delivery for to centre. He's bottom age, so he's not draft eligible this year. He's one to watch for the 2027 draft.
Well, you'd have to think, based on his underage form, that he's firming to be, at the very least,
yes,
a top 10 pick next year. Throwing it half forward here for the Country boys. Both the rucks went underneath it. Handball came out from Van Dyke. Garrett tumbles a kick forward. Patterson goes after it. Oh, good tackle by Nichols. Did well not to take him high. Somehow the ball was dislodged, so the next scrimmage ensues. And Nichols had Walker in support. Cody tries to slip away. Phillips, handball out. The little scrimmage. Now trying to work his way through the traffic there. That was Hanegraaff. Kick up towards half forward. Oh, one by Tassone, although his handball goes astray. Hanegraaff went without it. Tassone trying to mop up the mess. Who can win this little scrimmage on the wing? It's big Ethan Herbert who just whacks it forward. Nichols going back against the grain bravely. Ultimately won the footy. A couple of really good wins from him on the wing. Armstrong closed in. Good stuff from Patterson. Temperatures rising on the broadcast wing. Slattery's kick forward though lands on the chest of Darcy Serson.
Serson short to Kennedy, who looks inboard. Mark taken on this occasion by Phillips, who had a real pick-me moment against WA in the first half last week with a one-handed pick-up and goal from outside 50. Antrobus short, hoping for O'Brien, but Drop mark there, and it allows an opportunity for Lees to present some rebound from half-back. Handball over the top to Bradford. Open forward 50 here. Long suited by the kick. Serson spoiled, but it fell to Long, who's in good goal-kicking form. Can't find that one. Off to the right. And he's been peppering the goals early.
I reckon that's his third behind.
Anthony Long, yes. I think you're right, Brent. So it is Anthony Long, 3 behinds. Vic Country, 117 here at Mars Stadium.
Adelaide Next Generation Academy product, and of course the nephew, the great Michael Long. Kick out towards the near flank, gathered down low by Macumba, who slips away from Memphis Webb. And a kick up to the wing. Croker flying, reaching, unable to grab it. Here is Harrington. Got a handball away. Does that go over the boundary line? Oh, bang! Garrett lined up by Cody Walker. This is his first game for 3 weeks out with that shoulder. I think he's happy to be back playing footy, Benny.
Yes, and I watched him play a Carlton VFL game against Casey a couple of months ago, and he looked ready to go, at certainly at that level, and I think scouts think he's ready to go at AFL level next year. It's no wonder why he's being talked about as getting a bid within the first couple of picks of this year's draft. Herbert out of the ruck. Nice handball to Coda Edwards. Slammed it forward on the left boot. Met first here, though, by Snell, who got it to Nichols. Kennedy with a don't argue and did well to get the hand pass off to Armstrong. Now Walker off one step, kicks it high. Ooh, Harrington was under it, but well played by Tassone to bring it to ground. Intense start here, both teams cracking in, as you'd expect in the National Under-18 Championships. Herbert waiting for it on the outside, can't quite get it. Walker clean. His teammate in Austin wasn't quite expecting it, and it finds neutral territory here. So 25-minute flat quarters in the Marsh National Under-18 Championships. And just the one goal so far in this game, Country leading 7-2.
Just on Cody Walker's roadmap this season, he's played the 3 games in the Talent League, I should say, for the Pioneers. He's played in the 2 AFL Academy games, the 1 game previously in their Under-18 Championships, and then 4 for Carlton in the VFL. So not a lot of footy, but played for a lot of different teams. There's Walker right on cue, trying to get it to Phillips, who had it slip out of his hands. It's busted open there by Herbert. Walker had another go. Haingraff's handball was a wild one. Clever kick upfield there from Webb. Saw his teammate in some space. Patterson and Edwards, and now back to Memphis Webb, who rolls to the 50 and kicks it right to the line. And doing well to get back there, and a score tipped through was Will Antrobus. So another behind for SA.
Yeah, they're third. They go for 4th, rather, correction. The scoreboard's a little slow here at the ground. The ball is taken by Hanegraaff. It goes through the middle. Spearing kick. Thompson was heavily met there. Pounced on by McNichol. Checks the kick, and it was well weighted. And a big moment here for the captain. Coda Edwards marks directly in front of goal. He had an explosive start to last Friday's game against Vic Metro. Had 21 disposals in the first half alone, then just dropped off a little bit. He's a prolific ball winner, though. He's being talked about as a definite first-round prospect, averaging the 24 disposals per game in the championships. What can the captain do here for his side's first goal? Kick looks perfect. Big celebration from Coda Edwards. South Australia get there first through their inspirational captain, a much-needed one as well, finally getting some scoreboard reward for effort.
Yeah, big kick by the skipper, 184-centimetre midfielder. He ended up with 26 disposals on Friday, 6 marks, 9 inside 50s. He's a leader through and through. He captained their under-16s and now captaining the under-18s. Had the early win today with the coin toss. Under-18 best and fairest winner at South Adelaide last year. Local footy at Wollonga. Okay, so the Crow Eaters, they're on the board. After doing, quite frankly, most of the attacking in this first quarter. Back underway in the middle. Walker Shark the hit out. Beautiful handball to Drever, who rolls to 45. And just like that, the Country boys respond. The local boy, Ethan Drever, who turns 18 on Friday. That is as clean a centre break as you would ever hope to draw up.
It's very similar to a goal he kicked on Friday night. That was a bit of a wow moment as well, Ethan Drever. That's kind of his bread and butter, bursting away from stoppage. He's in the conversation, I think, to to be among the players, to be the best player outside of the two club tie players, one being Dougie Cochran and the other being Cody Walker. I think Drever's in that conversation.
188 centimetre midfielder, so great size, and as you just saw then, classy finisher.
Yep. He's a very well-rounded prospect, Ethan Drever. He'll be hoping for a big four-quarter performance today. He started so well against WA, dropped off a little bit in that second half. Walker is having a big first quarter here for Vic Country. Inside 50 with the clearance mark, dropped by Vic Country, so it falls to Tassone at the back. Kicks it over the top, hoping for Croker. Walker, how about the pickup? That was brilliant. Handball inside, thump forward towards Austin. That came from Macumba. Now Ladbrook, back to Austin, and Thompson one-on-one. Couldn't quite take the mark, but was good at ground level to follow up his work. Tap back, though, allows South Australia to rebound. Ivans, Herbert, Bradford all linking up, and the handball goes to Patterson. Here is his moment. His eyes light up, has a look at the goals, shanks it off the boot. An unfortunate kick for Gabe Patterson. Thump through for another behind for South Australia, who trail by 5 points here at Mars Stadium.
12 disposals in this quarter for Cody Walker.
Yes.
Clearly number one on the ground. It doesn't look like he's feeling any ill effects from that shoulder injury, the AC joint, I think it was.
Yep.
Country boys with kick-in duties. It's Darcy Serson, who goes as long as he can towards the outer side. Slips through the hands there of Kai Edwards. Rounded up out the back by Tassone. Croker. And now a high kick inside 50 for SA. Oh, big fly. And that come from Coda Edwards, and going back against the grain was Alec. Handball came back out towards Edwards, who got steamrolled by Nichols. Still alive for SA. Tassone gets another disposal. Great composure, great kick. He dropped it in the bucket there for Kai Ivans, who's going to do the unselfish thing. Moving on to his teammate Bradford. Had to take it on the bounce. And, wow, they just rushed themselves there, SA. Ivans probably should have taken that kick. Another behind for the Crow Eaters.
You're right about Jet Elect going back with a fly. He's coming off the ground in front of us now. I think it's his left knee that he knocked on the way through. He's sore, but it was a terrific moment of courage. He's a 19-year-old who has taken big steps in his overage year as well to put himself right in the hunt for an AFL call-up. So Country now will work it along the wing. Kick was chopped off by Jayski for South Australia, who looks into the middle. They're looking in the middle a lot. And now an opportunity for Webb. Handballs over the top to Tassone. He in turn missed his hand pass. Big bump there from Ivans. That was an important win. Bradford, Webb, left foot snap, bounces off to the right. They are peppering the goals big time here, the Crow Eaters, away from home, but not getting full scoreboard reward for effort. Big Country having to do a lot of defending in the past few minutes.
1 goal 7 now for SA. They're getting plenty of practice from the kick-ins here, Country. Antrobus this time, short for Drever. Playing his footy not too far from here locally for Ballarat. The Swannies out to the wing. Ladbrook coming across and Serson going the other way. Neither able to mark. And underneath was Kai Edwards. Tackled, 200-centimetre boy from Glenelg. First game of the carnival. He's been likened to Joe Danaher, the SA coaches. Pretty good comparison there. Phillips for Drever, in and out of traffic. O'Brien, Sousa, doesn't give it off to Macumba. He goes longer to the one-on-one at full forward. Out the back she comes. It's well taken there by Chapman, who played that well, didn't have a lot of help. Clears the defensive 50, but it's marked by Sosa, and Country are going to reload here.
It was a good one-on-one battle there between Hellisey and Chapman. A couple of bottom ages going at it there. Inside 50, there goes Hellisey again. Almost crumbed by Macumba. They save numbers at the back. It falls to Gordon, who kicks wide to Garris. Takes the relieving mark here on the edge of his defensive 50. Short to Van Dyke. So Garrett and Van Dyke, a couple of inclusions for SA. Van Dyke, one of their top prospects this year. First game back from a back injury. Hugging the line and going short to Matthews Hampton. One of their rebounding defenders, averaging the 15 touches and 3 intercepts per game this carnival. Spears it short, and it was a perfectly weighted kick, and it sets off Ivans. A penetrating kick inside 50, well weighted. Oh, was dropped there in the end. Socked off the ground by Bradford. Kennedy sees it through. It was dropped by Kai Edwards, who might have been affected, I reckon, by the sun. Yep. And he's dropped it. So it's a behind for SA, but they hit the lead at Mars Stadium despite just the 1 goal.
Long kicking up the middle from Kennedy. Drever latches onto the mark, and Country threatened to go the length of the field. Well, the handball just went a little bit awry. Well done from Hanegraaff, I think that was, to keep it alive. Phillips, Drever's on the runway again. Great kick. Did well to spot his big ruckman there. Jackson O'Brien loping forward. And Jackson will have a look from only about 25 metres out, just away to the left and after the quarter-time siren. And this will hurt. They've kicked 1 goal, 8, 9 scoring shots to 3 in this first quarter. But they've sprayed their bullets all about the place, the Crow Eaters. 1-8-14. Country 2-1-13. So Jackson O'Brien, GWV Rebels and Lake Wendouree in his draft year, 205 centimetres. Got a bit of filling out to do. He is on the approach. As good as directly in front, really. Nice. No mistake. And that is a very nice set shot goal kicking routine from the big guy. Not a lot can go wrong there. And so it'll be 3-1-19 Vic Country. SA 1-8-14 at quarter time. And they'll go into the quarter time huddle here, SA. A little bit frustrated that they haven't been able to get bang for buck in the first term, Benny.
No doubt about that. But gosh, a couple of Vic Country stars have really stood up. Cody Walker in particular. And then Ethan Drever with that goal. And we've also seen a bit of glimpses of Jackson Phillips. So Vic Country's best on-ballers having a big say, Brent, in that first quarter. We'll
go to our quarter-time break. Country lead by 5 points at the first change. Brent Sternberg and Ben Waterworth here with you. 2026 Marsh Under-18 Boys Championships on afl.com.au. And you might be watching on the AFL Live official app as well here at Mars Stadium in Ballarat. Back for the second quarter shortly. Welcome back, everybody. We're ready to go here in the second quarter for our first game of two here at Mars Stadium, 2026 Marsh Under-18 Boys Championships. The last game for South Australia, the penultimate game for Vic Country. And they are 3-1-19, the Country Boys, leading South Australia 1-8. Yes, 1-8-14 through the first 25 minutes. Brent Sternberg and Ben Waterworth here with you as we get set to go for the second quarter under glorious blue skies, but chilly conditions here
Gloriously
in Ballarat.
crisp, I would say, Brent, is the way to put it. We get underway and O'Brien gets the handball out, but taken away by Van Dyke. Doesn't get a lot of distance with his kick. They have numbers behind. Webb's been busy for South Australia. Handball's wide to Garrett, who didn't have enough time to get boot to ball. Great tackle from Drever, who had an impressive first quarter, as did that man Walker. Inside 50, falls to Austin, just fumbled at the wrong time, but he was good enough to keep paddling the ball in front of himself. South Australia with the numbers from behind. Gordon, Imey has run to his right. He used that run in Croker. Back to Imey, who's got AFL-like run and carry ability, but that handball was ordinary. Turned over, Williams, Hanegraaff looks towards the half-forward line, just over the head there of Thompson. That will be a lasso free kick. And South Australia, in fact, it might have been touched rather, just over the head there of Thompson, so it won't be lasso. It'll be tossed back in on the half-forward flank here. 25-minute flat quarters in the Marsh National Under-18 Championships. Vic Country need to win today to ensure they keep their championship hopes alive.
Templeton, Drever and O'Brien, the goal kickers in that first quarter for Country. Cody Edwards, the only goal kicker for SA. As we've got a little scrimmage here on the outer wing. Walker brilliant again in tight. Henwood just unable to control it. Ricochets into the 50. Clean pick up from Thompson. Hanegraaff on the run from 30. Misses to the left-hand side. But he's been pretty good through the first quarter and couple of minutes here. Geelong Falcons and Geelong Ammos. It's his second game of the carnival. He had 15 disposals and a goal in game one against the Allies. So the first score of the second quarter is a minor one for Country.
Imey rebounds it. Big fly over the top. That was coming from Matthews Hampton. And Van Dyke at ground level. It's 3-on-2 against Vic Country here. Drever went in hard. Henwood there as well. Numbers win out as Van Dyke thumps it forward. 1-on-1 here. Over the head of McNichol and Slattery. And at the back, Antrobus for Vic Country. Brought down by McNichol illegally. Didn't have the footy. Did Will Antrobus, and he can rebound for Vic Country. Product of the Dandenong Stingrays and a big improver in his draft year so far to put himself on the radar. Drever coming up for another disposal. It's his disposal number 8 for him towards half forward. 2-on-2. At the back was Hellesy, Henwood, Austin off one step. Good kick in the end. Hits Elliott. Too far out to score. Wheels and goes. And kicks to the hot spot. At the back, good competitiveness there from Ellick. And at the crumbing at the ball here is Hanegraaff. Charlie Hanegraaff, the Geelong Falcon, snaps it for Vic Country's fourth goal of the game and for all of South Australia's inside 50 dominance and peppering the goals. They find themselves down by 2 goals early in this second quarter.
He's in his draft year this year. Hanegraaff, 186 centimetres. Still 17, but turns 18 later in the year. Ball goes back into the middle. I haven't seen Jet Ellick reappear. He went down late in that first term. We'll try and get some information on what's going on there as they pull it out of the middle. Drever, sensational again, up into the 50. Austin unable to mark. Good second effort though, great second effort. Super tackle. As the ball's pulled out of there by Macumba, who saw a path to goal and exploited it. And it's 2 quick ones for the Country Boys. Levi Macumba from the Gippsland Power and Traralgon gets his first goal of the day.
And that is now 4 consecutive Vic Country goals. And Macumba, who was a late inclusion on Friday night for Western Australia, and he's kept his spot as well. He was a real live wire inside the arc for Vic Country last Friday. Kicked a goal from 9 disposals and laid the 4 tackles. There's something about him inside that arc So good start for him and Vic Country in this second quarter. Jet Alec is out there. He's just at outside the goal square there. So he's good to go after, I think, a knock to the knee in that first quarter. Herbert up high in the ruck. Grabs it, but couldn't feed it out. Good tackle from O'Brien. Edwards gets South Australia moving forward. Patterson going back with a flight, but well read there by Armstrong. One for Tigers fans to keep an eye on. Richmond Next Generation Academy link. Short to Walker, who did have Richmond Next Generation Academy link and still does, but has nominated Carlton on the father-son already. Armstrong involved again. Drever also coming through Williams. Arched the back and accelerated away. Handball to Austin, who feigned the kick. Great composure on display, and the execution even better. Hits up his teammate in Elias inside the arc. That was one of Vic Country's best passages of play for the day so far. Working it from defensive 50 to their forward 50. The ball now in the hands of Archie Elias. Another Rebels product out of Horsham. Kicked 1 goal from his 2 previous games in this National Championships. From directly in front with 45 metres to cover. And it has the legs and the accuracy. 5 on the bounce for Vic Country. They're making an early statement here. Elliott gets his first. It's been a real spread of goal kickers so far for Vic Country. No one with multiple majors. And it's an imposing beginning to this second quarter from Nick Cox's side.
Lead starting to swell now, just on Archie Elliott. You mentioned GWV Rebels and Horsham, so he's one of the boys that makes that big sacrifice to head down here and train and play. He's currently second in the goal kicking in the Talent League. He's kicked a swag of goals in that competition, 23 in 8 games. He's kicked 5 or more goals in a game 3 times this season, so he knows where they are, so to speak. Back underway in the middle. They'd like to start to see a response here, SA. O'Brien down low, Hanegraaff, and now he sends his teammate there on his way forward. That was Noah Williams, whose kick was an absolute diamond onto the chest of Archie Elliott, who is going to line up for his second goal in barely 60 seconds. If he chooses to take aim, that is. .45-degree angle. Archie Elliott, hush, as he looks to send it straight through the middle again. And he's pretty happy with his own work. 2 goals in 60 seconds for Archie.
Oh yeah, it was a big celebration. Yeah, this is big alarm bells in the coach's box now for Tony Bamford. It's ballooned out to a 5-goal game just like that, and it's been off the back of clearance dominance, in particular. Cody Walker involved, Phillips having a run through there as well. Drever is really damaging forward centre at the moment, and just in the last couple of plays, Noah Williams, one of widely regarded as a potential top 10 prospect as well, has started to get his hands on the ball.
They've had 2 or 3 really beautiful breaks from the centre, haven't they, the Country boys?
Phillips, Walker, Hanegraaff in the middle here for Vic Country, and through comes Walker. Just wanted that footy more than anyone else. Fed it out to Williams. Under pressure though. Walker another disposal, just waited for some run on the outside, and it was provided by Armstrong. His handball though missed Walker, taken by Van Dyke. McNichol, hard and clean. Great take there. Herbert inside 50 with a kick. Misguided. Surson in the hole. Darcy Surson out of the Dandenong Stingrays and Noble Park. Cross ground to Snell, and now Kennedy. Kennedy had a bit of a run on the ball on Friday night against Vic Country, WA rather, but looks like he's settled into a defensive role today. Hanegraaff. So slower build up here for Country. Look into the middle. The target is Ladbrook, but the kick just had a bit too much juice on it. Taken away by Tassone. Handballs in the middle. And nice work there from Gordon. He took the tackler on and kicked inside 50. Defensive spoil away. Slattery, though, in the right position. He's in good goal-kicking form. His eyes light up as he snaps a terrific goal. Slattery slots it from a tough angle, and it was a much-needed one for the Crow Eaters. Breaks a run of 6 straight Vic Country goals and he takes his tally to 13 goals in this National Championships campaign. 192 centimetres. He's an overager, so he's going to be turning 19 a little bit later on this year out of the Woodville West Torrens Footy Club. He's a great mark, but you saw his mobility on display there, which recruiters really like. So a nice moment there for Jack Slattery.
Terrific finish. We just lost him in the shadows there for a moment, but he never lost his sight on goal. The walking bucket for SA. Gets a goal that they really needed. With the Country Boys kicking goals for fun up the other end, and out of the middle they come again. Drever stepping past a couple, decides to go wide this time to Harrington, who started this game like a house on fire. His short kick over the top. Hanegraaff just having a little look around. Country for the first time in this quarter happy to just take possession of the footy. Ladbrook back to Hanegraaff, heading towards the midway stages of this second term. Noah Williams wanting someone to come at him. He braces straight past McNichol, drives the kick in towards full forward. It's all South Australia down there. Across came Kai Edwards, couldn't keep the football in the field of play. Mitch Harris, my mistake, and we'll throw it in deep in the right forward pocket for the Country Boys.
It's a tough spot in that pocket there, Brent, with the sun directly in the eyes. It's we're in the middle of winter at the moment, so sun not too high across Victoria at the moment. So tough for the forwards and defenders coming out from that spot. Boundary throw in here. Ladbrook doing the ruck work, showing off his versatility. Taken away by Van Dyke. Webb could have gone via hand instead with a long left foot kick that was precise. And it's taken by McNichol. On the left, spears it. Terrific pass. Long. Promising build-up here for South Australia. He kicks inside 50. Patterson was there, but Slattery, was he taken illegally? Umpire said play on. Surson right on his tail. And Surson's going to win the free kick here for holding the ball. Didn't make a genuine intent to get it out, so Surson can repel here for Vic Country. He's
one of the few Stingrays boys who doesn't play his footy in the Mornington Peninsula Footy League. Instead in the Eastern League for Noble Park. Yeah. Saw him for the Stingrays a couple of weeks ago. Country have turned it over coming out of the defensive 50. Marked on the outer side there by Lees. Short kick into the middle, skidded past McNichol, and it's there for Hanegraaff. No, he left it behind too, so McNichol gets his chance. High kick towards full forward. Surson there with the spoil. Here comes Slattery to kick another goal. He just doesn't miss, this guy. He's second of the game, second in a row, in fact, and you can chalk that down to goal number, 14 in the carnival now.
What a carnival he's having. He's an absolute lock for the full forward position in the All-Australian team. That'll be announced after the final game of the championships. Importantly, he's got the last 2 goals of the game for South Australia, and they're back to within 18 points. It was looking ominous after Archie Elliott kicked his second major about 5 minutes ago. But SA have hit back, been able to make the most of some promising ball movement, has to be said, and delivery inside 50. Slatter in the right place at the right time. Kai Edwards doing the ruck work here against Alec. Good to see Alec back in there. Lees was first to meet it, but Alec was clean at ground level. Fed it out to Phillips. Thumped it forward, only as far as Imey, who wastes no time. Gets the Crow Eaters moving and finds Garrett at half-back. Trying to build some momentum. That's going to stop it, though. Antrobus picks it off. On the wing. Damaging left foot kick usually. That time he just goes short to Drever. Another big game for Vic Country. Disposal number 12 coming up for the Star. Kennedy. This has been good from South Australia in the last couple of minutes. No quick entries for Vic Country. Into the arc. Good take there from Hellisey. Austin. Handball over the top. Pinch by Harris. Well read. Can they bring it away? Garrett was there. Back to Harris, who has to rush it away. Kennedy with a defensive spoil. Patterson waiting at ground level. As Phillips for company, there was some holding, and it's going to be going against Armstrong, and Patterson can set up the Crow Eaters here.
Short kick. Again, it's too short for McNichol. He had to take it on the bounce and then retrieves. Jatschke. Just saw Mitch Harris a moment ago. Great intercept defender for South Australia. He took 16 marks in a game earlier this season, 12 of them intercepts in the Colts back in South Australia. Here you go, SA again. Getting a couple of touches in there was Tassone. Kicking into the pocket.
He's got it again.
Well placed. That was Imey who just put it in the general vicinity of Slattery. And at the moment, he is unplayable, and he's going to take aim this time from the depths of the right forward pocket.
That's a glimpse of why Jake Imey is very, very highly ranked amongst scouts at the moment. He's got his run and carry ability, but then to hit a kick like that, like an absolute dart as Slattery, that's going to do his prospects no harm.
He's keeping them afloat in this game, Slattery. He's on the approach. Just kicked the goal from that pocket a moment ago. This guy does not miss. The goal-kicking machine from the Woodfield, West Torrens and South Clare. And South Australia, via the boot of Jack Slattery, are on the way back.
What a carnival. 15 goals won this carnival for Jack Slattery. And he puts South Australia back within 12 points as well. There was a couple of good moments as well, as we mentioned before, for Jake Imey. Ball back in the middle. South Australia, both offensively and defensively, have lifted significantly across the past 10 minutes. Herbert decisively down, taken by Webb, rushed forward off the boot. Awkward ball there for Armstrong. Antrobus clean at ground level. Almost stolen there by Patterson. Still alive for South Australia. Lees fumbled. Almost a free kick against Henwood there. Umpire said play on. Phillips, Antrobus, just short of his intended target there in Templeton. At the back, Chapman put his teammate under the pump. Clever there from Harrington. And he might win himself a free kick here. Umpire's going to have a good look. Said the ball spilt free just enough and might have been held to him as well. So reprieve there for Vic Country, and they need that because South Australia have found some form in the past 10 minutes.
Remarkably, the Country boys only lead by 2 goals as Herbert takes it out of the ruck with ease and sends Tassone on his way. Where's Slattery? Is in there somewhere. He just didn't quite get to the fall of the footy. And Clay Nichols stands in front of the pack bravely and marks backwards to Kennedy. Looks like he should be at Wimbledon with that headband. And short for Phillips, who had 18 disposals in that match on Friday. I was surprised he didn't have more than that. Felt like he had a much bigger impact.
No, he had a big game. Big game.
18 touches and 5 marks. In the shadows in the back pocket, Nichols again. Goes in search of a teammate on the outer side. Well marked out there by Harrington. Maybe not a bad ploy here to just hold on to the footy. Vic Country with South Australia surging. Thinking about the switch. He's testing the patience of the umpire. It's a good kick. Ladbrook comes up and marks. Steadily as they go. Just put it over the head there of his intended target in Alec Herbert. I reckon he might have thrown that out. Umpire allows them to play. Macumba just lost his footing. Templeton, haven't seen too much of him in this second quarter. He sticks a tackle. Ball still bumbling about. Can anyone extract this one? Eventually it's Walker trying to wrench it out of there, and he's able to through Drever and Harrington, who kicked off the back foot, but it's shut down at half back here for South Australia by Harry Franz.
Part of this back line that's held up pretty well in this second quarter. That is a poor kick from Franz. He has put it on a platter for Elliott, and that is a gift opportunity considering the momentum that South Australia had built in the past few minutes. Elliott can look to kick his 3rd goal of the quarter. Distance won't be a problem in his home city. It's high, and it is straight. 3 goals for Archie Elliott, converting his goal-kicking form in the Talent League to the national stage. And Vic Country get one against the grain. They break a 3-goal Jack Slattery run and give themselves an 18-point buffer towards the end of this second quarter.
Just trying to switch the angles there, Harry. And I mean, I'm not sure if the kick was on, but I mean, the Execution of the kick certainly was lacking. A disappointing one to give away because they'd worked so hard to get themselves back on top. Harry from Glenelg and Plimpton Footy Club. So back in the middle. And out after it was Van Dyke. Asked a lot of his big man there, Herbert, who had to go down a long way. Fought the fight pretty well, big Ethan Herbert. Did extremely well, actually. Tassone and Imey and Tassone, and here they go again with the handballs. Here's Franz. That kick's a lot better than the last one. Expansive towards the outer side. Garrett. And making space up at half forward is McNichol. Where's Slattery? Do they go in his direction? It's into the pocket. Long underneath it. Nichols needed a couple of goes with the spoil and eventually got the job done out of bounds. Heading for the final 5 minutes of this second quarter. Vic Country 8-2-50, leading SA 4-8-32.
O'Brien to do the ruck work here. Looks like Slattery's going to be having a crack as well at 192 centimetres. Out bodied there. Kennedy at ground level. Drever rushes it away. But a last touch free kick coming up here for France. For South Australia. They've built well from the back line this quarter. Lots of Vic Country numbers back. Slattery in front, but Serson was behind and read that better than anyone else. Great interceptor and provides great run and power off halfback Darcy Serson.
When I called him a couple of weeks ago for the Stingrays, I thought, gee, this guy looks like Dersma.
Yeah,
Willem Dersma.
okay.
Maybe not quite as tall, but just rangy.
Yep. No, that's fair. Up towards half-forward go Country. Elliott the target. From the side was Harris. Able to disrupt that play. Matthews Hampton. Handball to Webb. Who goes out wide to Imey. He's got a player on over the top and uses that player in Croker. Herbert. Too far out to score. There's a wall of Vic Country players, but he can get it over that wall. There's a couple of options, including Slattery, but that time the point's going to Snell, who intercepts, but then he turns it over. Franz involved again. 60 metres out from goal. There's a lead in towards the pocket. It heads in that direction. It was perfectly executed by Franz. That one was superb off the boot. And Charlie Bradford will have a look at the goals. Looking into the sun, but he's on the right side for a left footer here.
Well, he's recovered well, Harry Franz, after that skill error. I reckon he's had 4 or 5 disposals since then, and they've all been pinpoint.
Scouts will take note of that as how you recover from your clangers. Charlie Bradford, he kicked 4 goals against the Allies a couple of weeks ago. He goes to the right boot this time and makes no mistake. Lovely finish. 4 of the last 5 goals for South Australia, and they have been coming through their 2 top goal kickers. Bradford kicks his 6th goal of the championships and draws South Australia back to within a couple of goals.
Had plenty of the footy in this game, Bradford. That was disposal number 11.
Yeah.
Only Webb and Tassone have had more. Heading for the closing stages of the second quarter. This is our first game of 2 here today at Mars Stadium. We've got Western Australia and the Allies boys coming up later today. 1 o'clock, the first ball up. Final game in the carnival this year for those 2 teams. Back underway in the middle. They all shoulder one another. Hanegraaff, handball out the side. Armstrong's onto it. A couple of his handballs have been a little bit suspected this first half. Tanner Armstrong. Hanegraaff. Oh, Alec kicked it right into Patterson, who was standing 1 metre away. And off to Croker. And the speedo starting to climb here for SA as Lees turns around, and a good kick inside 50. And it was well taken, although an awkward landing for Garrett, who can line up from right in front here and get SA a little closer again.
Nice moment there from Jack Lees as well. He's had a good carnival. Averaged the 15 disposals per game. Could have blazed away. He had a lot of grass in front of him, but he saw Garrett leading into the space and hit him in a big opportunity here for South Australia.
Kicked a goal in the first game against the Allies, under 16 All-Australian a couple of years ago. A great runner. He's won the time trial in the amongst the SA Academy boys both years in the system. And that kick is as straight can be. Taj Garrett from Sturt and Imperials Kicks another South Australia goal, and it's a one-goal game as we head for half-time.
Great quarter, the footy it has been. It's ultimately 5 goals apiece. Big Country out to a lead of 30 points at one stage in this quarter, and South Australia with 5 of the last 6 goals of the game within one straight kick as we near half-time. Hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever you're watching on afl.com.au and the official AFL Live app. Herbert to do the ruck work against Alec. Herbert decisively down, but taken away by Templeton, who's having a run on the ball. Tackled as he kicked, but it works out well. Alec with the hand pass over the top to Hanegraaff. Macumba saw Phillips running to his left. Didn't get there in the end. Patterson working hard in defence here. Had the ball held to him. Stoppage inside 50. South Australia see off the challenge. And an explosive end to that second quarter ensures the Crow Eaters are within one straight kick at the major break at Mars Stadium. Half-time, it is Vic Country 8-2-50, South Australia 6-8-44. Jack Slattery, the story in that quarter, along with Archie Elliott. Both of those players for SA and Vic Country respectively, kicking 3 goals. And it means as we hit the major break here, Brent, a big second half, an enticing second half coming up.
Yeah, it looked like Vic Country were cruising. They, as you mentioned, Benny, led by 5 goals. That was the game high margin. But a terrific response from SA has them right back in the game at the main break. Brent Sternberg and Ben Waterworth here with you. We'll take our halftime oranges and come back for the second half here of the 2026 Marsh AFL Under-18 Championships. Vic Country and SA in a ding-dong battle in game 1 here. Back in a moment. Okay, welcome back to Mars Stadium, everybody. We're ready to go for the second half here. Game one of our doubleheader on the penultimate day of the 2026 Marsh Boys Under-18 Championships. We've got Vic Country and SA, and they're going toe-to-toe. It's a one-goal game at half-time. Country lead 8-2-50. South Australia 6-8-44. SA, after kicking 1 goal 8 in the first quarter, responded by kicking 5 goals straight in the second to get themselves right back in the game. Brent Sternberg and Ben Waterworth here with you. What on earth are we going to see in the second half here, Benny?
Yeah, it was a crazy second quarter as we get underway in the third. Herbert at ground level. Walker first to meet it. Leading ball winner on the ground. That was disposal number 19 for the Carlton Father Son prospects. He's at the bottom of the pack. Umpire hovers and Pays holding the ball and against Walker. Dived on top of it. He argues his case. It's a free kick to Cody Edwards. Inside 50. Slattery caught behind. Almost picked it up at ground level. Outside of the boot goes long. Can he bounce it through? It takes an interesting turn. Thump comes from SA in the end. And very happy to see it over the line for a rush behind is Clay Nichols, who had an important start to the game. It's the first behind of the third quarter as Vic Country bring it away through Williams.
It's a great kick to hit up Harrington, who might be able to play on here. He decides to just take stock. It's the jackhammer in the background doing its best work. Still under construction, just about complete here at Mars Stadium. It's going to be one of the great Country boutique grounds when it's finished. Here's Jackson Phillips, studies his kick. Ladbroke, great spoil, came in from the back there. That was from Franz. Webb, handball in tight. Ivans will set a task for his captain there in Cody Edwards. They throw themselves in on the wing. Walker did ever so well underneath to get it out to Ladbroke. And now Walker gets it back again from Drever. And a great kick, scanning the field inboard. Found his teammate at half-back, Antrobus, and now Kennedy, who just had the correct course there and go out to his fellow Dandy Stingray teammate in Surson, who got busier and busier in that second quarter as the ball started to come into his territory. Here's Sousa. Short kick up the line, and the long lead here of Jackson O'Brien. Around the back goes Sousa. They build their first attack of the quarter, the Country boys, although Sousa's kick's a shocker, and it disappears out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, disappointing there for Andrea Sousa, who is highly regarded for his class, particularly in the forward half. He was looking for Elliott. That one totally missed the target. Elliott has 3 goals for the game, all coming in that second quarter. Some rebound here from South Australia. It was through their vice-captain Gordon, but he's turned it straight over into the lap of Williams, who drills it into the arc. Harris was coming one way, Gordon the other. Falls to Elliott, who has the flying shot and misses. It was the 2 South Australian players on a collision course for friendly fire. Nothing eventuated, and a behind to answer from Vic Country to answer the behind for South Australia a few minutes earlier.
Ground starting to dry up now after a frosty early morning start. Matthews Hampton with kicking duties. He's kicked it a mile towards the outer side. Spoil made by Alec and beautifully crumbed there by Croker, who goes on a run. We'll call that the city wing. Just a couple of bounces. Kick inside 50. Surson and also Kai Edwards, who did well to gather. Kick inbound. Touched. And so the ground ball to be won. Shooting through Williams. Played it ever so well. Sosa. And they've got the cavalry on the wing here, Vic Country. Sosa's handball up the line. Armstrong. Another handball that just asked a little bit of his teammates. Back with that Noah Williams. Checks the kick inside 50. Mark should have been taken there by Austin. He dropped it. Walker. Clean. Brilliant. And the kick's just gone a little bit skew-if. And it won't trouble the scorers, but jeepers. Just wedged that one hand underneath. Picked up the footy like it had a handle on it.
Noah Williams had a good start to this third quarter as well. Had a couple of big moments coming out of half-back. South Australia under the pump here. Herbert one-on-one with O'Brien. Falls to Herbert. Has Patterson behind. He sweeps the hand pass over the top. It was a good one too to McNichol. Has Garrett on over the top. McNichol instead looks inboard. Pinched by Kennedy. Can really set up Vic Country. The smooth moves of Drever on display. Williams retreats to Walker. All the stars combining. Walker's handball was tough there for Austin. Turnover. South Australia can pounce. McNichol has a one-on-one inside 50. Heads in that direction. It's Kai Edwards. Big defensive spoil from Serson. He's 2-on-1. Edwards gets boot to ball and kicks it. The big man at ground level gets the boot to ball at the most important time and ties the scores at the start of the third quarter. All locked up at 51 apiece.
Impressive there from the 200 centimetre prospect. I think he's been getting up early watching the World Cup. Remarkable. 5 goals down they were. And the story of the second quarter was 3 goals in 6 minutes from Jack Slattery, who really put SA on his back there for a little moment while the rest of his teammates were just trying to sort their way back into the game. And so scores all locked up in the early minutes of the third quarter. Half time there we saw the WA and Allies boys warming up. They're coming up at 1 o'clock. Back in the middle, Herbert. And jumping high was O'Brien. Found the footy underneath. Sosa getting plenty of it in this quarter. And then turned over by Phillips. Van Dijk on the runway. Spears it inside 50. Gets past the initial contest. Here's Kai Edwards again. Couldn't grab Serson. And Snell had to get his kick away quickly. He's missed Kennedy. Sliding in. Croker down low. Kennedy took him high. And they're going to have another look at goal here. SA through their running wingman, Harvey Croker. 185 centimetre. Another one from Glenelg and West Gambia. And well, they did lead early on, SA. They kicked the first couple of behinds of the match. But this is to give them the lead again. It's Harvey Croker. Kicked a goal on Friday against Vic Metro. Is a lovely field kick. How does he go from the set shot? It's just going to go across the face. They can't quite pull it off the pack. Florence, under the shadow of the behind post, lost the football in the transaction and out of bounds it went. We'll throw it in deep in attack for SA.
8-3 plays 7-9 here at Mars Stadium. Country need to win to keep their championship hopes alive. They'll play Vic Metro Sunday week back here at this venue. Toss back in. Kai Edwards was doing some holding. The jumper was tugged there of O'Brien, and once the umpire sees that, you're in trouble. Country move it out and pounced on by Austin. Checked the kick. It was a half volley there for Templeton, who might have been held there by Matthews Hampton. Umpire said nothing to do there. South Australia win it back. Matthews Hampton involved towards half forward. Thumped away there by Slattery, trying to get Kai Edwards involved at ground level. Walker was there, and Phillips happy to see it over the paint. It'll be tossed back in at the edge of 50. Walker with a game-high 23 disposals, 13 contested possessions. That sums up his game so far. He's been in the trenches and been pretty clean in the trenches, feeding the ball out to his runners.
Had some moments where he's looked like an AFL footballer
Very
already.
much.
Not long to go, Carlton fans, before he's in the jumper. Here's Cody Edwards on the outside of the boot. The goal already, the skipper. And just ushering that one through for a behind. There's Clay Nichols. Behind gives South Australia the lead by 1 point as Thompson, who got a reprieve today after a couple of late country outs, has the kick-in duties. Up goes Serson. Probably had claims for a free kick. SA move it on quickly. Florence reaching for it, I should say, in the pocket. He's been able to keep it alive brilliantly. And now he's going to get a free kick for contact below the knees, is he? No, it's going the other way. It's on the last line here, going for Hanegraaff, who gave it away to Walker. And Country can bounce out of the defensive 50.
It's Nichols, who sees Alec all by himself, but Herbert comes from the side. There's a moment for Ethan Herbert. Athletic ruck from the side, but he's turned it straight over. And Sousa pounces, looks inboard, dropped by Ladbrook. Might not matter too much because Country have numbers around, including that man in Macumba. Fumble again though, and South Australia on the counter. Imey and Gordon linking up. Macumba involved again. Good body work there from Gordon to win it back. Couldn't find a teammate. Austin, Walker, assessed his options. Ladbrook, the left footer, checks the kick, and it's a good one too to Harrington. Could have kept on running. He slows the momentum and will assess from about 48 metres out. Ladbrook was pushing hard towards the pocket. He leads now, Ladbroke, but the ball in the hands here of the Geelong Falcons player in Darcy Harrington, who is playing his second game of the champs. He had 18 touches and 5 marks against WA on Friday. He's a left footer. Mark out slightly to the left here. Unloads. Won't have the distance. We go right to the line. Oh, hands there from Ladbroke. Let's rush through for a behind. We're all tied up again. We are 52 apiece. Country 8-4. South Australia 7-10.
Quickly back into the field of play for SA. Imey, he had a bounce. He gave it to Matthews Hampton, who's kicked it out of bounds on the full. Cale Matthews Hampton, he was the only underager that played in the under-18 championships last year for SA, the title-winning team. Noah Williams has to play on here as he come back into the field of play. He wobbles it inside 50, floating across the front there. Imey couldn't mark, and then unable to keep the ball alive as the ball's back out of play. Just on Harrington, who had that last shot on goal. Geelong Falcons, like you said, Benny, and Ocean Grove, where he's playing senior footy this year. And so he'll finish up the season after today with the Falcons, and Ocean Grove as well. He might even head back home and maybe have a surf, perhaps, later today. He's played well here. Alec and Kai Edwards. Haingraf, handball stolen by Matthews Hampton. Hurried kick back to the wing. Nichols, like pulling an apple off a tree, took a terrific mark.
He's had some good moments today, Nichols. He kicks inboard. It was a dangerous kick. There's a friendly fire. It was Hanegraaff colliding with Elliott. In the meantime, Vic Country work it out via hand. Thompson fumbled the hand pass from Drever. McNichol pounces on the other side. Long, marks, turns, goes. Handball, sets up McNichol again, spears it with a dart inside 50. Slattery trying to take it with one hand. The nimble footsteps on full display. He goes across the face of goal. Patterson dropped it. Was there interference? Umpire said no. Boundary throw-in. Slattery again tempting us with another terrific moment. Patterson and Williams see it over the line. They'll be tossed back in. 52 apiece here at Mars Stadium.
He's one of those players, Patterson, whenever the ball's in his area, as a footy fan, you move to the edge of your seat. Yes. It looks like something's going to happen. It's just getting a bit grumpy here with Noah Williams, who's wearing him close. Throw in. Surson will be able to clear the area after finding the footy at the back of the stoppage. Oh, heavy landing. Imey, I think that was. He's back up and running. Macumba's onto the footy. One-on-one up ahead at full forward. Well, that probably should have been a free kick there to Harris. None forthcoming. And now around the body on the left. It was all about the bounce off the boot there of Hallisey. And put it into the goalpost for a behind to give Country the lead. 8-5-53 they are. SA 7-10-52.
There's a nice moment there for Tanner Armstrong in the middle, who brought the ball to ground and ensured that the Country were able to move the ball forward. Good courage shown from Armstrong going back into the pack. SA will build here through Lees and Imey. Along the flank, and Bradford up high. At the back, Thompson dropped the mark. Lees with him at ground level. Opposite number 11, Phillips is in there. Umpire had a really good look at this, and he lets the play go for a long time. A long time. It's the rolling maul as Patterson rips it away, trying to feed out the hand pass. In fact, he got it out by foot in the end. Taken by Hanegraaff, who's had some moments today. McNichol wins it back. Kicks it high. Long one-on-one with Surson. Has Elect for support. Elect back now to Phillips. Might have stepped out of bounds before he kicks, so it'll be tossed back in on that outer side. So 3 goals for Slattery for South Australia and 3 for Elliott for Vic Country. Both of those players kicking their respective 3-goal hauls in that second quarter. The goal fest, in fact, in that second quarter, 5 goals apiece. Just the one so far in the third quarter. Cody Walker leading ball winner on the ground for Carlton fans out there by quite a way. 25 disposals for him. Hanegraaff the next best with 18. Henwood, feign the hand pass. He's a classy mover. Composed. Can't hit Ellick on this occasion. Macumba comes through. Handball out, but pounced on by Patterson. Now Lees towards the edge of the square. Good defensive spoil there from Nichols. Hands one holding the ball and unforthcoming. Nice hand pass comes out from Croker. And now it sets up Tassone into the pocket to the goal kicker. Slattery putting his name on the paper of many recruiters' notes today, as he has done for this championships campaign.
It was an impressive mark, that wasn't it? With the defender draped all over him.
Took it at full stretch as well, leaping high into the air. He has been dead-eye all championships. So far, he has kicked 3 goals straight today, 15-1 for the championships campaign. It is just across the face, the rarest of blemishes for Jack Slattery. At the moment, no one wants to kick away with a goal. It's South Australia leading by a point.
We've mentioned a few times he's an overager. He hasn't been playing senior footy back in SA for Woodville West Torrens, but he has been playing in the Rezzies and been kicking goals there as well. Kennedy and the reaching Darcy Curzon scoops it up on the wing, kicks it very high down the line and too wide.
And on that, there's nothing wrong with playing good footy at Sandford Reserves footy, because it got Latrell Pickett picked very, very early in last year's draft.
So we wait for this footy to be fetched out of the new grandstand. It's going to be Harvey Chapman. It's not going to be Harvey Chapman. It's going to be Gabe Patterson, who again has come back into the field of play. So the umpire says, when you make your way back in, you've got to play on. Kicks a disappointing one. Put that down to another intercept mark here for Clay Nichols, who's going to get a 50-metre penalty here for encroachment, I think, and that's going to take Clay from half back to half forward.
Yeah, I've liked Clay Nichols' game today. He's been one of Vic Country's stronger performances in defence. He's had the 6 intercept possessions.
So he's a rebel as well, but he's from Portland Footy Club, been playing senior footy since 16, and that is a cracker of a kick into the 50 and onto the chest of Elliott. And he's going to have a crack at his 4th goal after Slattery missed his chance up the other end, so this could be a big swing in the game here as we head towards the 17-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Archie Elliott is on the approach to give Country back the lead, and for his 4th goal. Through she goes. Yes. Goal umpire did not move. Archie Elliott's got goal number 4, and Vic Country have a 1-goal lead in this game that just continues to swing back and forth.
Yeah, big celebration as well from Archie Elliott, who continues his excellent game. He's had the 4 goals to go from his 7 disposals as well. A couple of inside 50s. So Vic Country finally break the goal drought here. 6-point advantage for Nick Cox's side. Tony Bamford coaching his last game for the South Australian under-18 boys. Coming through was Webb. Has a runner on the outside and used him via hand. It was Garrett who kept the ball low. Oh. What a pickup that was from McNiggle. Classy moment from him. Back to Garrett. Kick was intercepted by Surson. Right place, right time. Drever, lovely sidestep. Then the feign. That is the class on display of this potential top 10 pick. Handball over the top. The Drever will get it back. He keeps on running. Sweeps the hand pass over the top to Templeton. Has a good look at the goals and misses to the right. A big passage of play there from Ethan Drever. Templeton, though, couldn't capitalise. A 7-point lead for Country.
It deserved a finish there, didn't it, from Templeton? And he normally doesn't let them down. I was surprised when that one went skew-if. Imey here at half-back for SA. Central District and Golden Grove. Well-placed kick. This is Harris. He flinched, so called to play on. Macumba's got him in his sights. Harris had to retreat. Tassone, Imey. He's got Croker short. Had to go a little longer. Oh, Coda Edwards, how well did he just get rid of Harrington there? Hold him at bay for a moment and protect the ball drop. The SA captain down below us, in search of a marking target up at half forward. Country boys spoil one another. Patterson's handball, nice. Slattery, the ball just wouldn't quite bounce for him, and Antrobus is happy to walk it over the boundary line. Everybody just looked back at the umpire to see what the decision would be, and the decision is throw it in.
So a goal each in this quarter for the two teams. One to Kai Edwards and another to Elliott for Vic Country. Elliott with 4 today. Slattery has 3 for South Australia. Herbert got rid of his man legally, according to the umpire. McNichol trying to swing onto the left. His hand passed it into his teammate, and he favours. Webb comes through and finds some space and kicks it towards the excavators here at Mars Stadium. Out of bounds on the full, so no score. Vic Country can look to build again from their last line. That defence has held up quite well throughout the day for Vic Country. Serson and Nichols with 7 intercepts apiece. Here's Walker coming up for his 26th disposal. And it's a well-placed kick as well to Snell, one of the top key position prospects in the draft. Serson again showing that rebound power. From behind, Hellesy. Austin stayed down low and picked it up cleanly. Doesn't have a lot of support forward of the ball though. And Tassone working well in tight spaces. Imey has support from behind. Thumped forward by Croker. 2-on-1 here against Slattery. He almost brought down a spectacular grab. It falls to McNichol. Over the top to Coda Edwards. Long's over the top. Big moment for Nichols. He left Long, won the ball back. Patterson wins a free for holding the ball. Play goes on. McNichol deserves a goal, but he passes it off. A couple of big individual moments there from South Australian players, including Patterson, who's a little sore after that tackle. His teammates rush to him as well, Gabe Patterson. Big pats on the back because he set up a goal-scoring opportunity for Charlie Bradford. South Australia down by 7. Bradford already has 1 goal today. This to draw them within a kick. Instead, he's just squeezed it through for a behind. 9-6 plays 7-12 here at Mars Stadium.
1 goal, 2 now for Charlie Bradford. And I also love that last kick from McNichol.
Yeah.
As he went through the 50, you thought, okay, he's going to have a shot, but he just saw the teammate open up late there and pulled the kick.
I've circled his name, Brent Jacob. Yeah. Nichols having a good day.
Say holding on to the footy here. Oh, dangerous kick backwards to Thompson, who took the mark and then took off. And suddenly Country are out on the wing. A little push there, but legal from Austin, who's now trying to scamper away. Well done to Sohn, lunging in and catching his prey, and he's quickly off and running with the handball. Well, they might have mocked it up here, SA. Gordon in and out of the tackle. Got to try and get it back to Tassone here. Good things happen when he gets in possession. Ivans. Handball away, Van Dyke tackled as he got the kick, so it's a worm burner up into the 50 that's well taken by Kennedy. Just misses Henwood, and O'Brien comes loping over, took it cleanly. Henwood out into the open pastures. Walker trying to get control of it, ended up knocking it away from Armstrong. Here is Tassone, tackled by Henwood, and Tassone just takes his medicine and has the ball go over the boundary line and out. It's a 1-goal game heading for the end of the third quarter. Country 9-6-60, SA 7-12-54. In a game that we thought at one point in that second quarter might have been done.
Yeah, yep. They've fought back well, South Australia. So a couple of minutes left in this third quarter. Remember, 25-minute flat quarters in the Marsh National Under-18 Championships. Toss back in. Boundary throw-in fell short of the 2 rucks. Templeton having a run on the ball. Applies the tackle. Quite a game so far for Cody Templeton. After kicking a couple of 3 goals, in fact, last Friday. Phillips trying to get free. Finds Armstrong. Has to hit the kick here, but it's floating in Souza. It was almost going into space, and Souza was able to get the acceleration to get into that space and can line up from directly in front here. Product of the Dandenong Stingrays and the Edith Vale Aspendale Footy Club down in the beautiful southern suburbs of Melbourne. 1 goal from 14 touches against the Allies, and then 19 disposals against Western Australia. Can he hit the scoreboard just before 3-quarter time? It has the legs and accuracy. Souza with an important goal gives Vic Country a handy 2-goal buffer as we turn for home here at Mars Stadium. It's Vic Country's penultimate game, South Australia's last game of these championships, and Vic Country need to win to keep their hopes alive of winning.
Deserves that goal, Sosa, because he's been really good. That was disposal number 11, but has had some big moments out on the wing where he's playing. A real important connecting piece in their thrusts forward. Andrio Sousa. Back in the middle. Big kick from Sosa there. To just give Country a bit of breathing room. Drever out of the middle. It's a high kick that gets Country to half forward. Attacking it well. There was Elliott. He just ran underneath the football. Chapman down low. Gordon in trouble. He knew he had to release it. Elliott ran past it. Handball flipped out. Ladbrokes kick smothered. Gathered by Van Dijk. And SA can bounce potentially here through half back. They go right up the middle of the ground. In and out of the hands there of Kai Edwards. Serson mopping up. Sends it back towards the Country half forward line. Slipping over there was Chapman. One down low by Armstrong. Here's another chance for Templeton. He doesn't miss twice. He does miss twice. And what a big moment that might have been on the cusp of three-quarter time. Templeton, who kicked it behind from that pocket, that one failed to score. And so Country will take a 12-point lead into the final turn. 10-6-66 they are, and SA 7-12-54. Might have a bit of a look at the ball getters. Country, Cody Walker, I should say, 26 touches. Drever with 20. Hanegraaff with 19. And Noah Williams with 17. And on the other side of the page, McNichol leads all comers for the Crow Eaters with 20 touches. Tassone with 19, sweeping across half back there, I should say, and Webb with 17, and then Van Dijk and Imey with 15 touches. Any thoughts before we head to the final break?
Oh, just it's nicely set up. Again, South Australia with opportunities throughout that third quarter, but couldn't capitalise. And you just sense it's reflective in the scoreboard. 10-6, Big Country, 7-12, South Australia. They've just had a little bit more polished Country forward of centre throughout the game, but still a big quarter to come.
And we'll be back for that very shortly. The 2026 Marsh AFL Under-18 Boys Championships here at Mars Stadium. At the final turn, it's Country leading SA by 2 straight kicks. Brent Sternberg and Ben Waterworth here on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app. Back for the final quarter in just a moment. Okay, 1 quarter to go here in our first of 2 matches. Now, penultimate day of the 2026 AFL Under-18 Boys Championships. We've got Vic Country leading SA by 2 goals as we head for the final quarter in this captivating matchup. WA and the Allies to come at 1 o'clock here on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app. Brent Sternberg and Ben Waterworth here with you. Eyes on how Vic Country run out this game. We remember what happened on Friday, Benny.
They did. They fell in a bit of a heap against Western Australia, but they were strong in that third quarter as Walker bursts through. Did lose a bit of territory, but able to handball off, and now Harrington receives on the wing as a player inboard. Instead goes longer and more direct inside 50. Chapman intercepts for South Australia. Bottom age player, only 16 years of age, but at 195 centimetres. Intriguing prospect ahead of the 2027 draft. Long at the back, read that better than anyone else. A hand in there from Herbert might have helped. Long accelerates away from Walker. Kicks the ball inside 50 to no one really. Slattery tracking it towards the pocket. Disappointment there for South Australia. And will be a boundary throw-in just about 20 metres around from goal. It is Vic Country holding a 12-point advantage. They kicked 2 goals to 1 in the third quarter. Scores were level for a lot of the early moments of that third quarter before a couple of Vic Country goals. Taken out there by Kai Edwards, out of the ruck from the textbook. Forward 50 stoppage craft from Kai Edwards. Snaps it around the body, gets his second goal of the game. He's in for his first game of the National Under-18 Championships, and he has made an impact, to say the least. He draws his team within 1 goal as we tick into the second minute here of this fourth quarter in 25-minute flat quarters in the National Under-18 Champs. Well,
we did mention earlier in the game about Kai Edwards that the SA coaches have likened him to Joe Danaher. That was out of the Joe Danaher textbook, wasn't he? He used to like to take it out of the ruck and have a crack at goal. They would have spoken about getting this first goal and getting it quickly. And it's game on here at Mars Stadium in Ballarat. Of course, Country have to win to keep their championship hopes alive. They've got 1 more game to come against Vic Metro next weekend. This is SA's final game. Up from the half-back line, Matthews Hampton. Scrambly kick inside 50. Edwards ran past it. Patterson lurking. Drags down Clancy Snell. Didn't have prior opportunity, said the umpire.
Don't think you want to be tackled by Gay Patterson at the moment. He's playing with a fierce determination.
He's a brute, isn't he? Ball up at the teeth of the goal for the South Aussies. Oh, McNichol couldn't quite get boot to ball. Serson's kick goes straight up and down. That surely didn't go 15. It doesn't matter, there was no mark, and it bounces at right angles and goes out of play. So Gabriel Patterson, I've heard you mention on Friday, Ben, his dad played 96 games for Collingwood, so he just misses out on the father's son. But followers of the AFLW will know his sister Violet, who plays for the Pies women's side, a developing halfback flanker. Of course, the father-daughter threshold is 1 game, so that's why Violet qualified for the Maggies, and Gabe unfortunately doesn't. Throw in deep in the left forward pocket here for South Australia, hunting the equalising goal. Patterson again, held off it by Kennedy. Phillips quickly away to Thompson. He kicks up towards the broadcast wing, and it was a ripper, and good hands out in front taken by Xavier Ladbrokes.
Yeah, Max Thompson was a big goal kicker in the Under-16 Champs last year, but showing his wares in defence today. Armstrong has been pushed forward for Vic Country. Sweeps a hand pass over the top. Armstrong was dealt with after he disposed of it, so it's a free kick downfield for Austin. But SA have been able to get lots of numbers back to clog the defensive 50. Good luck trying to find a white jumper there. Austin has a crack. He has Templeton in the pocket, and it's off hands and over the line and out of bounds, but at least it's inside the forward 50 here for Vic Country, if you're a Country supporter, that is. They lead by 1 goal. Kai Edwards with South Australia's sole 2 majors in this second half. But it has kept the Crow Eaters within striking distance. Herbert and Alec to go at it. At ground level, Templeton was clean. Back to Phillips, who fumbled. Webb got the ball moving forward. Harris missed the handball. Patterson again determined. Able to feed it out to Long. Can he get boot to ball or a handball away? Ball was held to him by Kennedy. who's been solid in defence for Vic Country today. Ball up right in the middle of Mars Stadium. A crisp but glorious day in beautiful Ballarat, and we're set for a grandstand finish.
It's a great opportunity for the Scouts to just see these guys against the elite talent, best of the best, in a high-pressured situation in a close game. Harrington smother, and then shrugs away from Croker, and then an arrow into the forward pockets. Right onto the chest there of Jet Ellick.
Good moment for Harrington. He's had a couple of nice moments, the left-footer today, Darcy Harrington.
The boy who, Jet Ellick here, who did nominate for the mid-season draft a month or so ago. The big kick resting on his boot. Not an easy kick by any stretch. He's given it a fair old shake. It's just going to fade. Spoils made. Didn't hit the behind post. It's gone over the boundary line, and in the end, not a bad result for the Country boys as they'll set up from a throw in here deep in the left forward pocket. Still at 10-6-66 Country. SA 8-12-60. Got to hold firm here in defence. SA. Umpire will throw it in. Herbert and Ladbrook. Ladbrook got to the front, won it down. Matthews Hampton, who had it stolen by Herbert, who never really took possession. Round and around goes Memphis Webb. Gee, that probably was holding the ball, but that was a very early whistle. Webb gets knocked off holding the ball, and now a shot at goal here for the normally deadly and lethal Cody Templeton.
Vic Country's first goal of the game, Cody Templeton. He kicked 3 goals against WA last week. Sees an attack on the man on that occasion, legally of course. He's only got great attack on the ball as well. Big moment here for the Gippsland Power man.
He's kicked 1 goal 1. This will be disposal number 7. He is a big moments player, Templeton. Directly in front. And it holds the line. And Templeton gets reward for that great tackle on Memphis Webb. And it just keeps South Australia at bay. It re-establishes that 12-point buffer for Country. 11-6-72 they are now after that Templeton goal. SA 8-12-60.
So Cody Templeton just gives a little bit of breathing space for Vic Country, but South Australia absolutely determined. And you mentioned the opportunity to shine on the national stage in front of Scouts there, Brent. It's also the opportunity to shine on the national stage in a late game that is right up for grabs here. So the big moments will count for a lot, you sense. There's a holding free kick going the way of South Australia. Coda Edwards was held without the footy. He kicks inside 50. Patterson, the target, up high. Couldn't quite take the mark. Falls to his feet. Handball off to McNichol. Deserves a goal. Gets the goal. Quick reply to South Australia. McNichol has been one of his side's best players today with disposal number 21. He snaps it through, and we're back to a 6-point ball game.
Good reply for SA. Yeah, 21 disposals. He's had 7 inside 50s as well, McNichol. He's probably been close to the best ball user, certainly, out there on the park today for SA. Another boy from Glenelg and Emmanuel College. 6 games in the Colts back in SA. He's been averaging 28 touches in those 6 games. Has kicked a lot of goals as well. 17 goals, 10 behind. So playing a bit more up in the forward line. Together again in the middle. The Rucks eliminate one another. Through came Walker. He ran into a brick wall, almost had his jumper dislodged. Managed to get the handball forward. Gordon, temperatures rising, you feel, in the middle. Drever's handball was no good. Phillips is set upon, and we're just about back where we started in the middle. 1 goal game. We have played 8.5 minutes in this final term. Drever scrambles a little kick forward. Armstrong got rid of Gordon without the footy. And McNichol's going to give it back to his defensive mate here in Jack Gordon, who comes out to the wing. Here's Matthews Hampton. And then on to Lees. He just takes a moment to assess his options. He's got his mate there, but it's broken through the fingertips of Franz, and pouncing is Macumba. And Vic Country are about to flip the field.
Souza has it on the wing. Hanegraaff has just come on the ground and he's screaming for it. It heads in that direction now. He has the sit. What a defensive spoil coming in over the top. Armstrong able to pick the ball up. Some pressure coming from Matthews Hampton. So two good defensive efforts there from Matthews Hampton. The spoil, then the bump as the kick came from Armstrong. It's been turned over. South Australia have it back. McNichol again with the footy towards the wing. Patterson waiting for it at the back. Thompson picks it up at ground level. Alec runs over the ball. Clean from Lees. Through he comes. In towards the middle. Kennedy wanted it more than his opponent. Grits the teeth. High left foot kick towards the 50-metre arc. From behind. What a mark from Harris. You mentioned his high intercept marking numbers earlier, Brent. That is why he's so highly rated. An important take there for South Australia.
Took it away from the pack of four. And then out to Chapman, who kicks up the line. Kennedy waits, as does Surzan. They needed the third man in there, Nichols. Handball found Kennedy, and now Harrington all had to wait on the bounce. And then not waiting was Van Dyke. He took it, but his kick smothered. And they're close to the boundary, and the ball is over and out. We'll have it tossed in right in front of the interchange benches. Both players throwing themselves in. SA would love to wrap up their carnival with their second victory. Of course, Country have to win to keep their championship hopes alive. They'll be back to Ballarat next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend to take on Vic Metro. Throw in neutral territory. Herbert took it out of the ruck and got great distance with the kick. Slattery's there at full forward. He's reaching for it. He can't mark. Now he's got Nichols in his sights. Nichols slips away. Handball was good enough for Surzan, and then on to Noah Williams, who is often running through half back. Wanted to have a bounce and then got a bit cramped, so he got it away to Phillips by hand. Phillips kicks up towards half forward. Free kick or mark to Templeton. That's Elliott, rather. Maybe just a little bit too far out to score. On a typical Ballarat day with a breeze, he might be within range. Trying to get past Chapman on the mark. Kicks out into the forward pocket. Matthews Hampton with the spoil and out into the pile of dirt. And we'll throw it in the left forward pocket for Vic Country.
Nice ball movement there from Vic Country off half-back. Williams and Phillips involved, a couple of their prime movers. And they now have a forward 50 stoppage opportunity. It is a one-goal game here at Mars Stadium, almost halfway through this fourth quarter. 72 plays 66. Ladbrook, one of the most versatile players in this class, up against Herbert. Ladbrook won it down. Armstrong tackled superbly by Herbert, well executed by the ruck. He loves the ruck craft, but his ability to follow up at ground level is excellent as well. Moved off his mark, so has to play on. The kick is wide, but it is accurate. And Van Dyke presents. McNichol coming up for disposal, number 23. Gains some territory. A long kick towards half forward, up high. Slattery. What a championships he has had so far. Has he got a couple more star moments to come? Herbert again, spears it inside 50. Bad kick. Surzan, right place, right time, can reload for Vic Country.
Yeah, it wasn't a great kick from Herbert, but you feel like he's really lifting in this final quarter. The big ruck for SA is getting better and better. Drever, he's kicked to the outer side, perfectly placed. And up past halfway go Vic Country. McCumber has to come out and win the footy. He's challenged at the point of attack and in the end overwhelmed by the numbers. McNichol. Herbert gets another touch. This is a handball to Garrett. Webb dropped the mark, but the ball sat up nicely for him, about to be caught. Handball forward of the play. There's a whistle. Advantage taken. Slattery. Mark dropped there by Bradford. Puts the kick back in towards a good spot. There's a whole lot of grappling going on. No whistle. Williams is back there to tidy up for Country. Got to hit a target with this kick. He can't. Reaching over the top. Van Dyke had it stolen by Hanegraaff, whose kick into the middle was a poor one, but another mark dropped. Alec. It's relatively open up ahead. Awkward bouncing ball there. Elliott couldn't take it. Alec has another go. Attacked it hard. That was admirable. Still up for grabs in midfield. McCumber had a go. Archie Elliott disposed of. Who's going to win this critical battle in midfield? South Australia, that's who. And Memphis Webb's on his way forward.
He handballs over the top as well. Taken by Florence. Checks the kick. It's a good one, and it's in good hands. Slattery marks directly in front. You're right, Brent, well called. That was a massive win for South Australia in the middle. Webb on the end of it. And now the dead-eye, Jack Slattery. He's had lots of big kicks throughout this championships campaign. This is his most important right here. From directly in front. He's put 3 goals, 1 on the board today. And 15 goals, 2 for the entire championships. but his team needs him most right now. Slattery lets fly in Ballarat and gets it. Scores a level. Jack Slattery with his fourth. In his past 3 games, he's gone 6 goals, 5 goals, and now 4 goals. He cannot be ignored if you're a scout at the moment. He's got his name penned in there at full forward in the All-Australian team. And we are set for a huge grandstand finish, Brent. 72 apiece with 10 minutes left.
And the big thing with Slattery is he looks like he's got his goal-kicking routine down to a T. Just doesn't miss.
Yeah.
4 goals, 1 now on the... well, we are into the afternoon now. Huge kick to draw his team back level. Great win in midfield for SA, and then a goal on the end of it. And out of the middle they come again. Lees onto the bouncing ball. Off to Garrett. No left foot, so he sort of went on the outside of the right, put it on the head of Patterson, but it's easily diffused there by Antrobus. And out of play in the shadows of the grandstand there, but SA deep into attack so quickly from that centre break. 11-6, plays 10-12, 72 each of 2. A draw does not help Vic Country's championship aspirations. Got to win here today and then pick off the Victorian foes next weekend. SA gunning for the leading score. At the throw-in, it was Webb outsized in the ruck. He just about won the footy. Lees' little handball. Coda Edwards in the tackle of Drever. Handballs it into the goal square. Last line defence here for Vic Country. It's in good hands. Walker clears the defensive area. Herbert, I should say, peels across and takes a critical intercept mark.
And it's a wonderful kick inside 50, although coming from the side, disrupted by Vic Country. Webb has been huge in this final quarter. Walker on the last line, couldn't find a teammate cleanly. Thompson back to Walker, clever handball from the bottom major. Walker clears the danger towards Alec.
Oh, wow.
That is a grab and a half from Jet Alec on one of the best defenders of the class in Harris. He goes short. Kick is left a lot there for Drever to Walker, who was taken high. Surely, yes. Vocal family and friends here at Mars Stadium. It's 72 apiece. Walker with another disposal. It will just go over the head of his teammate there in Alec. And Bradford has worked into defence to take that mark. He flares it wide to Chapman, and he can set up South Australia.
25-minute quarters, no time on, so we have 8 minutes left. We've played 17. SA kicking their way forward. Here's Ivans, twisting around, getting himself disoriented, and now kicks long inside 50. It's a pretty good kick. Oh, Croker just misread it. Still alive. Slattery hunting it in the pocket. They overrun him, the Vic Country defenders. Kept the handball alive. Big tackle there on Croker. They scratch around for it. 20 metres out from the SA goal. Slattery, you can see there in the back play, slow to pick himself up. Might have just copped one over the back of the head. He's heading back towards the goal square as we have a stoppage situation here. O'Brien down to Thompson, who clears the defensive area out to the wing. McCumber with the one hand, couldn't grab it, gets it at ground level. Souza, his little kick down the line to Ladbrook. Here's another one that's growing in stature in this final term. Short kick inboard to Armstrong. Scores level, 72 apiece. Armstrong inboard to Walker, disposal number 33. An expansive one out to Antrobus. He's got Harrington on the wing. Goes a little shorter than that. Williams, defensive point of the centre square. It's a bold kick. The spoil is made. Armstrong, it eludes him, and onto it here for SA. There was Imes, handball though missed. Webb and Vic Country take the footy instead.
They do. It was Austin. It was hoping for Templeton. Big one-on-one win there for South Australia by Harris again. Through comes Lees. Handball to Webb. Now to Long. Herbert wants it. Long goes himself. Open South Australia forward. 50. Snell. Huge moment. Read it well off the boot. One-on-one with Slattery. Had to sit and took the mark. And again, they link up. Antrobus. Thompson having a big last quarter. Has a lot of space to work with, but not a lot of run up ahead. He kicks to space. Who's going to get there first? Elliott got there first. Won it and is running hard. Takes a bounce. No one coming at him. He's had a huge day today. Can he cop it off with a huge moment? He can't. It's off to the left. He's got 4 goals. Archie Elliott couldn't add a 5th. Vic Country finally score for all this tension, Brent. Yeah. That was the first score we've had in a while. They lead by 1 point.
Matthews Hampton could have marked. Instead, he conceded the behind. As Tassone gets on the end of the kick, he's got runners, shotgun. Croker looked inboard and then kicked a little straighter. Coda Edwards, the nice take on the boundary line, keeps the footy alive. Croker still going, and Tassone and Croker again. They've got to hit a target inside 50 here, SA. They do. Terrific mark up top there for Kane Florence, who is getting advice from his teammates to go back and kick the goal. And so the boy from KI, as they call him, from King Island, who plays his footy in the sandful at South Adelaide, he's come back in to play this game today, didn't play on Friday. Big kick on his boots to put SA back in front at the 20-minute mark of the final quarter. Kane Florence is going to take on the player on the mark. He's going to go from 35 and it will be lucky to score. It does. And it ties us up again at 73 apiece.
Tried to have his Levi Ashcroft moment there. Did Kane Florence. He misses. Kicked 5 goals in the under-16 championships a couple of years ago, so knows where the big sticks are on the national stage. Comes down to these big moments. Who's going to stand up? Kennedy with a kick out. Well placed to Snell. A couple of big marks from Clancy Snell in this final quarter. Will he go with the brave kick into the middle? He'll go instead up the line. Elliott will get there first. Coming back with the flight of the ball. Mitch Harris once again. Standing tall in defence for the Crow Eaters. Hoping for Cody Edwards over the back. Long at ground level. Accelerates away. Here is Gabe Patterson's moment. He snaps and he misses. But he gives the Crow Eaters the lead by a point. And we have about 3 minutes left here at Mars Stadium.
Quickly from the kick in, Vic Country. Alec. And up to the wing. Walker in the contest. He wins it. And he's off to the races is Cody Walker. One bounce. Kicks towards the goal square. 1-on-1. Great mark, Ladbrook. And a brilliant kick. The game changing moment there on the wing from Cody Walker. And Carlton fans not long to wait until he's doing that in the old dark navy blue. As we turn our attention here to Xavier Ladbrook from the top of the goal square. Gippsland Power and Nana Goon was best on ground in the academy game earlier this season against Richmond. That's a terrible miss. And I reckon he might have hurried himself.
Yeah.
It does put Country back in front, but by the narrowest of margins.
Oh my word. More twists and turns to come in this game. Can South Australia pounce at the other end? Big one-on-one. McVan Dyke. Great courage on display and clean hands as well. He sees an option inside 50. Coda Edwards. He marks. Herbert wants it deep in the goal square. There's a lot of space. Edwards has the footy. He'll put it towards the hot spot. Who's going to fly? Herbert up high. It's gone. Has it gone all the way? It is a through for a behind. And South Australia take back the lead.
Just being told by Sam Zito, we won't have a draw if the scores are tied.
Golden point?
We will play golden point.
Yep.
South Australia mop it up from the kick in, the turnover. Slattery's high kick. Patterson looms large. Out the back here. Florence, he's just not going to quite get there in time. Well done, Noah Williams, to come over and play that brutally. Bowled him over into the fence. And we'll have a ball up in the shadows there right next to the behind post. Still they are searching for this goal. SA. 3-1 in this final term. At the throw in. Who have we got in the ruck here? It's Alec and it's Kai Edwards, who's kicked a couple of critical goals. Kai Edwards today. Footy underneath. Patterson put his head over it. Drever's little give was terrific in tight. Phillips lost it, went back and got it again. Alec down low, couldn't pick it up. Here comes Gabe Patterson. Toe poke out into space. Goes and retrieves it. His kick smothered. And I don't think it went into the 50. And so it'll be balled up right where the paint of the 50 and the boundary meets. South Australia at right half forward, leading by 1 point. 10-15-75 to 11-8-74.
Final minute of this game. Vic Country need a clean clearance and a quick exit. They won't get it. Big tackle applied by Phillips. South Australia might have just done enough. Can they lock the ball in their forward half here? It's been a massive arm wrestle in this second half. Kennedy trying to get it free, couldn't quite. Van Dyke with his head over the ball. Oh, Walker, so clean. Got it to Austin, into the middle. Taken almost by Templeton, but they've just won more one-on-ones. They've been cleaner when it matters most, South Australia, in these dying moments. Kai Edwards overruns it, but it matters little. What a win for South Australia. And what a way for Tony Bamford, the South Australian coach, to cap off a wonderful stint in his role. Full time, and South Australia win by 1 point. I think everyone's a bit confused because the scoreboard is showing a Vic Country are in front by 1 point, but it is South Australia who win 10-15-75 to Vic Country 11-8-74.